I am making some pear crisp because I have a lot of pears. I got a big bag of them. What do you call it? Irregular pears. So they're not as pretty, supposedly, but they look fine. They're just small. But they make a really lovely alternative to apple crisp. Not that we don't like apple crisp in this house, but once in a while it's fun to change things up a bit. So I am going to cut these pears up into small pieces like this, and then I'm going to saute them in the frying pan with butter, and then I'm going to add cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger to it. That's what I like. But you do you. I am not giving you measurements because I don't measure things. I've cooked enough that I just kind of make up my own version as I go, and I don't measure. Just eyeball things, and if they don't if it's too wet or too dry, I just add things to change that up. But you can look up any kind of apple crisp recipe. Now I'm going to be adding strawberries and blueberries to mine, organic, frozen, and then I am going to also make gluten-free blueberry muffins. So I'm just going to keep cutting these up until I get the pan pretty full because I don't want to skimp. And I'm just reusing this. I think this was left over. It's already got butter on the bottom of it from one of those seafood broil kits that you can get with lobster tails and so on from President's Choice. They're awesome if you like seafood. So I'm pretty sure that's left over from that. I always keep these things in case somebody wants to take something homemade, things that have lids like takeout containers or whatnot. Or in this case, anything that's got a pie pan. So say I'm doing something and I like this, for instance, and I have extra. Well, then I have a little pie pan left over that I can use for a smaller portion. Or if you're doing cookies or something, that's great too. Then you can just dump them in there instead of using a whole new pan. Max is on the floor looking for these, so I just toss it on the floor and he can have a little nibble. I don't know about other people's dogs, but when I'm cooking broccoli, he likes the stems. Like tonight I'm going to make cod and rice and broccoli for my mom. Well, me too, but she really likes fish. And the Walmart Great Value cod is a wild caught cod, and it is a good price. It's like $10 for, I think it's 1.2 kilos. That's a lot, and they're vacuum sealed individually, so they're great. I find with a little bit of butter and some garlic, they taste almost as good as lobster. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper and easier than dealing with lobster. Plus, my mom doesn't eat really other kinds of seafood. Like, I like shrimp and I really like scallops. She's not into any of that stuff. And the further along her dementia gets, the more weird her, like she doesn't seem to be eating bread anymore. Like pizza, she eats the toppings only. And I do pizza almost every weekend. I do a gluten-free for me because I need gluten-free. And then if my brothers are visiting, they each get their own pizza, and she gets one with those little sardines. Because she likes fish, I'm telling you. And I put ham and pineapple on mine. Some people don't like that, I know, but I don't care. I've always liked ham and pineapple. Yeah, I'll probably put a little bit of lemon juice in here as well, but it's very simple. I find especially with apples, they're a little bit tougher than the pears, but you want to saute them first to get them soft, and then they'll bake really easily. And since I've got the oven going anyway, I'm going to make my muffins that everybody loves, and I'll show you how I do those. Okay. Just going to get the blueberries out of the freezer. So these are the wild blueberries that I get. I try to get organic, but this one is just without pesticides. And organic is hard to find around here. But we love blueberries in this house. And this is the strawberries sliced already, which are better than, for this case anyway, I find I like strawberries sliced already. Yeah, you certainly don't need to use those. And the other thing I do is I keep baby food sauteed, not sauteed, pureed apples and things like that, like, or applesauce, so that if you find you're a little short, you can just always add that to it. Okay, and then for the oats, so that's cooking in the frying pan. It's going to be a while because some of that stuff's frozen, but I'm going to add some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and if you like things sweeter, you can add maple syrup or something like that. I'm just going to add a little bit of coconut sugar. I am out of maple syrup at the moment, so that's my coconut sugar. I mean, it's already sweet with the fruit, but I'm going to add a little bit to that and let them saute. It'll be a while. Now, I've already melted some butter. I just threw a whack in there, probably 1/3 of a brick. And if I need more, I'll melt some more down. And then I will add the oats. Oopsie doops. I need to cut that open. And the other thing I like to add is walnuts. So I've got those here. These I just order off of Amazon. We go through a lot of walnuts between, Mom likes walnuts with her breakfast, which is yogurt and fruit, and a bit of oats. And we love tons of them in the muffins. And then I also love them in the apple crisp, or in this case, pear crisp. So the oats part, of course, is going to be the base and the topping. So the other thing is, if this is not quite sticking together and I didn't put enough butter in, you can always add a little bit of oil. I mean, you've got to have butter. You can't be using, you know, plant-based oils. They're not good for you, first of all, and they're not going to give you the right kind of flavor. So that's not so bad. It's gonna, but the other thing you could do to moisten it a bit more to make it sort of pack better, and this is fine the way it is add some maple syrup. Right, give it a bit of liquid that way. So I'm very, very liberal with my spices, so I don't measure because I like a lot of cinnamon, and Mom really, really likes nutmeg. So that was the nutmeg. Now I'm doing the cinnamon. Oh, I love cinnamon. It smells so good. And ginger. Okay, now I'm going to add a bit of vanilla, pure vanilla extract. And some salt. So that is the pink Himalayan salt. And that's pretty much it. Just mix it up well. Oh, and I didn't add any coconut sugar to that one, so I'll just add there's not much in here, I'll just add what's left in there. I find store-bought is way too sweet. There's all kinds of additives in it, and they also overload things with sugar, and you don't need that much sugar. If you've got the right spices in there and so on, cinnamon and those warming spices do tend to make things taste sweeter. Okay, so I'm going to press 2/3 of that in the bottom of this pan, and the rest is going to go on top once the fruit's done. Oh, I forgot the walnuts. Got them sitting right here. That is okay. And they toast up so nice. So, okay, there is the base, and there's walnuts mixed in there. And the fruit's going to be a while, so we'll come back to that when that's done. And I'm going to go ahead and I've already lined 2 muffin pans with the silicone cupcake holders, whatever. They're so easy. Paper, I find, sticks too much. I don't know if it's because it's gluten-free. These were previously frozen bananas, which I have defrosted. There's 2 there, and I have 1. They're really better when they're good and ripe. So there's 1 that's just ripe and soft enough to put in there. Okay, so I need my masher. Just a potato masher. You could do it with a spoon too. There we go. Okay, now in this case, I'm going to be using just a wee bit of baking powder and baking soda as well. So, let's see, 1/4 teaspoon will do. That's the baking powder. Oh, I should have a smaller thing of baking soda somewhere, but anyways, I have this. Okay. Again, a little bit of salt. Oh, I can put that back if that's done. Some vanilla. Ginger. And Marianne, just kidding. Nutmeg that was, and loads of cinnamon. Okay. Oh, that cinnamon smells so good. Okay. Next, I'm going to add this is any gluten-free flour will do. Sometimes I do a blend of rice, flour, sorghum, whatever, mix them all up. But this is handy. So I'm going to use all of that's left in there. It's probably 1.5 cups to 2 cups. Don't care. Don't matter to me. And I'm going to mix those up. Okay, now in this case, I am going to use oil just because I don't have much butter left, but preferably melted butter would be better. So probably going to be using, I don't know, 1 cup of this. This is not quite, that's probably about 1/2 cup that's left in there. Yeah, that'll do. Because what I'm going to further moisten it with, of course, eggs, but I'm going to use raw, either pumpkin or sweet potato, whatever I happen to have. Or I have butternut squash, organic butternut squash. That is the trick I have found to keeping it moist, because so 2 eggs. The gluten-free flours tend to be really heavy and drying. And the first day I make them, the muffins, they're awesome, but they tend to get dry after that. With adding pumpkin mix, what I was doing during Thanksgiving was I was making pumpkin cheesecake, and I would use 1/2 a can, so I would use the other 1/2 to make this, and it turned out so good. That's what I've been doing since. So anything like that, sweet potato, pureed, or this, if I make squash from scratch, it's awesome, but I found in the can, I don't like it when I cook it, so I'm using it up in the muffins. But butternut squash roasted with your turkey or what have you, or a roast, oh my god, it is so good. And of course you're getting fiber and all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's healthy for you. Heart healthy, yada, yada. Okay, so that whole can is in there. I'm going to go check on the fruit, how it's doing. Stir it up a little bit. I have these, what are they called? Italian ceramic pans. I can't remember what they're called at the moment. Hang on, I got another one in the sink, so I'll look at it, what it's called. Italian or French? I found one at a thrift store, looked it up online, and I was really happy about it. And then found a couple more that I ordered online from, I can't remember, I think it was Poshmark or eBay or Etsy, but I think it was Poshmark. What's it called? Arcoflam. Let's see if you can see that. I don't think you can, but, and they're, I don't know, there's some kind of cast iron with a ceramic coating, and so I cannot put that up higher than 3, and it's already, it takes a while to warm up a little bit, but then it's super hot and you don't want to go any hotter than that or you will burn stuff. And it doesn't get hot on the sides of the pan, so you don't burn your fingers if you accidentally touch that. But it maintains the heat so well that I'm absolutely in love with them. I tried cast iron and I could never get the hang of using them, and I certainly don't use non-stick stuff because it's so toxic. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this and go into a spoon now to mix it up. Now, if I decided that it was too wet here, I have some oats, obviously, but I also have this oat flour. Whoops, oat flour. That's non-GMO that I picked up at Walmart to add to make it drier, but usually I don't need to do that. But I just prefer not to measure. Sorry, I'm not going to put ingredients there for you because, or measurements, because I don't measure. All right, that's as clean as it's going to get for the moment. Let me think. What else do we need? No, I think we're good. I don't think so. I could also, if I wanted it to be a little wetter, like I say, I could add a baby food in this case too. Like I used to start when I was taking care of my dad too before my mom here. I was always trying to get sweet potato and things like that into his food, so that's why the baby food worked well. You're making a sauce or something like that. Now I could use this in the mixer, but honestly, it's too much to clean the mixer. So this is easy enough. Okay, so that's in good shape. I think it could be a touch wetter, so I'm going to add a wee bit of yogurt instead of oil. Mind you, it'll get wetter once I put the blueberries in and stuff, but just a bit. See how that goes. Yeah. Looks more like a cake batter that I want. Yeah, check it out. Yum yum. Now I don't have any maple syrup, like I said, but I'll add a bit of sugar to it. You really don't need to, but because the fruit is sweet and the bananas are sweet, just a bit. I already added the spices. Yeah, okay, so the blueberries are next. And I put a ton in, as you can see. And it does, because they're frozen probably, it will turn the muffins kind of blue, but we don't care. Oh, any that fall on the floor, Max is going to eat. I need a bigger spoon. lot of room for walnuts this time. And I do have extra muffin tins if I have too much in here, which I may end up having. I have a bigger bowl than this I should have used, but it is what it is. Okay. And if I don't have enough room for the walnuts that I like to put in, it's very easy to just put a few walnuts on top of the muffins in there. So these are what I like to call loaded muffins because they're more almost fruit and nut than they are. Okay, now I've created a spot because I don't have much room. Show you rather than moving the. Just a second. Yeah. Shut up the dog for the moment. Okay, now I need a big spoon for the muffins. So that is what I'm going to do with those. So you get the idea. You can use the second spoon. I'm just using the same one here, but you could use a smaller one to kind of shovel it off into the cup. Now, if you don't have the silicone, you could use paper, but I would recommend for the gluten-free, I don't know, I think it's the gluten-free reason that it sticks to the paper too much. I prefer the silicone. Actually, I got the one set, I think, off Amazon, but the second set, which I'm about to show you, oh, let me turn the oven on. I put it on 425, what you would cook for a pizza. So this set I got at Dollarama. These ones and these ones. So 6 of each. I think, was there 2 and 2 in a pack? I don't remember. But they were great. So I'm going to swap this out over here now. Yeah, I'm going to need another tray. Oops. I think it was Downshiftology was maybe where I saw her do some gluten-free muffins. Originally, my recipe, I believe, was gluten-free mama or something like that a long time ago, but I've adapted mine so much from the original that I started with. So I'm sorry I can't provide you with. No, I think Downshiftology did something else that I liked. And if a little spills over the side, you don't care because it's nice, crispy, like the muffin tops to eat, you know, just right off the side of the pan. I don't know if any of you saw the Seinfeld episode with the muffin tops. I still watch Seinfeld reruns. They're a kooky bunch. No, I think I can get this all into these muffins. All of these muffins. They might be a little high at the top, but that's okay. I don't feel like getting out another pan because I need room for the crisp as well. So I do have a second rack, but I don't want to overload it. So yeah, so that's good. I'm going to put the rest of that on the other one. Pile it up a wee bit higher. Like I said, rather than getting another muffin tin. And then what I do once these are done is we always eat a whole bunch. And then I put the rest in the freezer. Like I put a dozen in the freezer, and then I will take them out when we finish the first dozen. I will take them out like maybe half a dozen at a time, so they don't go bad, because I don't know, there's just two of us, my mom and I, and sometimes we have guests and then we'll serve them, but you don't want them to go bad. And they can mold, right? Because it's all natural ingredients, there's no preservatives and stuff. So, and I will leave some in here because my mom likes to lick the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to give that to her in a moment to play with. And these are going in the oven, and I will have them in there for about 40 minutes, but I'll check them at 30 to see how they're doing. Okay, and the fruit is ready. Look at that. Beautiful. That's a lot of fruit, so I may have to be... No, it's all going in there. Okay. Bueno. Muy bueno. Beautiful. Okay. There it is. The crumble. Pear crumble. And then the rest of this topping is just going to go willy-nilly over top with the walnuts I added to it. Okay. And that one I'll leave in there probably about 30 minutes or less, because it won't take as long to cook, because it's just oats. The cooking the fruit's already cooked. But, just check on it. Oh, hang on, I gotta pull that bottom rack out, and it's too close to the top rack. There we go. Okay. So, oh, there we go. Now I know how long it takes me to make those. 27 minutes. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.